Hello and welcome. This is Turbo Concept here, going to be reviewed in this website called Comic Studio. We're back again as we did for a last video that you just eventually tried to download some images or nothing that whatsoever. You just save images by going to save for this one comic like these things. But now in the Comic Studio, and this is the main page. This is the main website to do so as well. As you may going to scroll down, we're going to be trying to view all the studios, and this is where I just began off to start up this video as well, because since then that we just going to be completely going all of the comic creators that I just completely to do so, and I just shift into the next page into another one because I definitely in the last video we just done it that we're just doing already for the Angry Birds comic studio as well. Well, now we'll be searching for another one as well, as we're going to be going back to the main lobby as well, as you'll be seeing this. And not especially for this page 1, and let's get onto the menu. You see right over here, this is the main page as well. This is where you absolutely turning a little bit along like these, and this is where I just completely access for the first time, and you'll be seeing this. This is the creator, of course, and we have any kinds of like those comics whatsoever. We have the most popular comic, whatever we try to make a comic anyways as well. And as we can scroll down, I'm probably not sure. There must be topics, other kinds of like these things. There were hot comics as well. And I'm not sure things aren't going to be interested about of these cutie cartoon animations as any more like them. Because anything could be start to get for very inappropriate for this anything as well. We got some sort of an art and dead comics as well. And we got for anything that one cringe thing overall for that I can see that inappropriate thing as well. We have a story comics, and there must be a real image, some sort of like these, a lot of those bars as well. I'm not sure. There are actually grinds like their lines of the comics like themselves. We have the video game comic creators was probably we really know that was anything like bad or something that we do not recommend it, that we're just going to be choosing, because things are not just for kids, as we can scroll down by using manual mouse, and we have a mobile game comic creators could be the most popular thing as well, not instead of like these things television movies and whatsoever like music comic creators. That was pretty bad. That was too bad for everybody, for whatsoever, for many more like these. And I turned that who's somebody dislike of this video is that you just looking for every all of themselves and probably try not to make a comic for just that you're gonna be doing whatever you want, but try not to make for some sort of an original like these things, because whatever you can choose the custom comic characters or some sort of like themselves, the custom images or something. We're gonna be review like this thing. It was the title was just a normal Cookie Wars lineup. Nothing weird is gonna be pretty happen as well from Cookie Run Comic Studio, and this is what I just probably never to be meant. We have some sort of a topics like themselves, and this is the description and about of this thing. And I wonder that there's not gonna be doing for there's no real life man over here, and I wasn't able to create anything about for as possibility to do so. As we're gonna be trying to scroll down, not anything that is going to be to do what anything we want to say. You're gonna be trying to make a comic just like in this last video that I just completely did for under 20 minutes. And at the bottom of this website, you can actually change languages to Espanol and Portuguese and turn some sort of a Japanese and Korean like these things. Nothing other supported language is going to be going on around as well. I accidentally clicking for the Sonic Hedgehog reference of these comics like themselves. Absolutely, that I just gonna be clicking for this thing that could cause viewing all the Sonic Hedgehog studios for anything that everything that does probably to do this. This is where you're viewing all of those categories or some sort of a types as well, and many more things that is just probably for to do for the main thing. And then let's just completely search for another comic. Let's go for Minecraft. And this is absolutely when I was before I was a dumb kid, and it was going to be such as one smartful things about completely building for many more stuff. As you can see right here, this is the comic studio about Minecraft, and let's just make a comic. But before we're gonna be making of this comic, but I'm not sure, we're gonna be browser comics as well. As you will be seeing around of these things are going to be such as one thing over here. This is absolutely for the ship's interior. And looks like we're gonna be doing this to view this thing first. Oh, there must be many more. Or many, and it's going to be a lot more. Because I don't really think Minecraft is going to be the next popular like itself. And I'll be reviewing like this kind of type is Annoying Villagers 20 Part 4. As you'll be seeing around of this timeline. And this story isn't going to be that bad, and I really think this is absolutely leads into the good ending as well. And our next comic book would be the Bunnies remake. I don't really think there must be a black screen over here. That must be some sort of a bad ending that you lead around here. And now this is the ship's interior. We are absolutely going to be going over here. We're not allowed to download or some sort of to save the file to do this. This is absolutely for some sort of like these things. This is the Turkish bath as well. And whatever that does not gonna be pretty look like. What anything around the hallway. This is the second class dining room. Another one for just a single dining room as well. But I'm not sure that doesn't look like this making any sense around here for. Here it is. This is the part of the cabin, no number 11. And this isn't absolutely some sort of a boiler like itself. This is the dining saloon. A little bit of hallway. Cabin no number 49. The cabin no number 48. And another one. Reading with a writing room. The lounge. And we don't think this is the living room. There's the kitchen. That must be for some sort of like a Glamberry hotel. And some sort of a Grand Master Hotel or something. That must be a big cat. And by the last clip of this, some sort of an image. And let's try to make this thing a lot. And this isn't going to be making for such as really hell to do this. You can spawn Steve. Let's just make it basic things as well. And hopefully I was going to be ready to spawn a lot of mobs. Versus real mans as well, or some sort of a real life person whatsoever. And if you're making this a little bit wrong with your backgrounds, we have to completely to manage the panels for a little bit longer as well to extend around here. So it's time to get our custom background. If you just did something wrong, just remove a background and choose what itself that you didn't absolutely use to do this. And whoever that does not able to fit around for this anything for everything up, we just absolutely try to find like these, and we're going to be doing for our next pages as well. I think we're going to be starting off the woods, and we'll make another loading screen about of this, because the reason that I just don't want to do this, whatever that is absolutely total grass, I'm not sure. This isn't what absolutely going to be trying to one thing. This is absolutely not the same image, because I absolutely tried to remove a background, which is we didn't care about for just only one thing. So I didn't absolutely going to be going to absolutely to try to upload some sort of a custom background like in itself. Let's go to the next page, and I cannot believe to go down for just any longer. This is the sky. for some sort of an empty space. This is where you can absolutely add planes or something. We have the next page. Over here, there must be some sort of a hiding hallways as well, the hidden woods. You can spawn Gaia Everfree onto this thing as well. But not everything we just probably wanted to say. It's gonna be something a little bit quickly as possible. We got absolutely snow hills instead of caves for other kinds of like themselves. The under the seas like there must be some sort of a sea fairy who is living in a tower of frozen waves. That Ice King is going to be far right, not next to anything about this. And we're moving up into the jungle space and into the caves of terrorist darkness as well. As we move down into the more darkness by itself, that leads us into the nether about of this thing. And this is going to be the last stage, or the last page, that could lead to the end. This is where that is just where I hear. This is some sort of a large hell, and I do not recommend that I'm gonna be doing this for all over to try to make things straight, and it's not going to be try to do this at always. So we don't have enough for other kinds of like these. We have desert, a village, a dark night woods, and we absolutely added for the snow ways around here instead of ice of the oceans as well. So not instead of that night thing, I'm just gonna be removing the background, and we're gonna be spawn on the wedge of the ocean around here. This instead of the under the sea, we have to spawn the ocean. So it looks like it was absolutely pretty great. And now let's spawn every characters whatsoever. And you want to go to show like this thing, but before we're gonna be trying to make things straight, I forgot to name because I didn't absolutely try this in the last video, but I'm probably not doing for this only one thing. Let's see the users submitted sprites. We have for anything about of these things, we have for any sprites. I can see dark choco cookie around here. That must be a lot of sprites. Wait, that must be some sort of a monstrous thing going on. And this is the Dark Cacao Kingdom side over here, and not some sort of an old-fashioned town. Japanese version like themselves. I'm gonna be scroll up a little bit because instead of is going to be broken like itself. Oh there, I cannot able to log in anyways. Now let's go for the studio crossover. And this is where you can change or try to move on to another comic studio around here. I wasn't interested that possibly that I'm not pretty good at this one. So let's just go into before spawning the mobs. Instead of vehicles, we're gonna be spawning some sort of a real man and Cookie Run characters like itself, or some sort of a Grand Theft Auto characters like themselves. And looks like we're gonna be seeing this surprise from there. And here it is. We got ourselves for many more stuff. Lightning McQueen in front of Nani for anything, whatever it does. Who probably does know that we got the stake that we put out here. We got the NIPD as well. The NYPD overall for the officers around inside of this old-fashioned village. That must be the R34 GTR. And instead of the driver who was left abandoned the R34 Skyline, he sailed up the way that Terrorizer is going away from it. And probably there must be a bunch of cars, one truck, a utility, and a sports car that I just installed like this for the Bentley XP10. And we got some sort of like these things. We got absolutely trying to spawn the mobs. Now it's the time that we're going to be spawning. And before that does not going to get caught, we're going to be doing for such as a little bit big thing. And not overall, it's going to be such as going to be a jump scare of a little bit like this thing. And isn't going to be just like it's going to be small, like a big fish is going to be jump off, and then it's absolutely completely slightly jumping out of their way. This is the language that you cannot do for this next language to do this. You can't absolutely going back as well. You're just gonna be jumping and exploded all the way out here. So I did actually manage to turn away for just only one thing. I touched the terrorizer over here, and you can't multiply the bubbles, and it's absolutely this isn't gonna be going to copy the panel. This is not gonna be where to do this. That I'm aware of this thing, of a situation like this going on. Still moving for this only one thing, and it's absolutely gonna be over here, and it's going to be try something a little bit very different. And then I just doing this again, adding another bubble, and it's gonna be slight to be over here, and this is where that kind of a little bit splashes or making themselves. This is where that I'm just probably going to be going up to do this, and I'm not sure that you know why. And it is going to be such as a little bit. I accidentally moved Terrorizer out of the water. I think it's going to be accident over here. This is a massive accident over here. Oh my god, this isn't going to be a why to making things a little bit further like themselves. Oh, there it is. It's going to be a little bit for just more perfect to do so. And now, however, this isn't going to be just like this. It was absolutely for some sort of a distracting, I guess. And that is the rest of there. And instead of those water splashes over here, I just sent him into the water. And then I should be able to grab this carefully. And then it's going to oversplash themselves into the air. And there's the monster like themselves to jump all over to do this. And not the last, we absolutely already spawned the mobs. What about the pink sheep that I just never able to be spawned like this one? Let's go to scroll down. And I didn't see the pink sheep. There must be the pink sheep over here. And this is why that pink sheep didn't like those race cars, because I'm probably that he'll be liking of this vehicle anyways, and that must be for some sort of a purple sheep, just like his son of a purple sheep over here, and it will be standing around over the queen. And not instead of those mans over here, we have some sort of like those minion characters or stuff. There's some sort of like these big mans and going back over here, and a lot of mobs is going to be spawning in, but not instead of those creatures are going to throw himself up. We eventually spawn any villagers, and there must be another one. Not instead of their wisely to try to do this anyways, because we just eventually spawn many villagers as we can. Instead of going riding the purple sheep, I guess. And it should be going to be staying a little bit low. But instead of Lightning McQueen, this is going to be watching like this thing as well. So, I'm not going to be telling you why this isn't going to be just like the end. Because before that, there's not going to be try to do this. Looks like I just made like anything, of course. All you have to do, it's time to save the image once again. But looks like this doesn't not even matters to making for a text of those things as well, because I don't really think that does not going to be pretty exist, because I'm not aware that isn't going to be for just like a probably that sheep looks like a prankster gangster like this one, and not except for him. And I should be going to be trying to do this, that I'm just going to be took here for a little bit long. We added subtitles around for any of these screens around of these things as well. As you just gonna be trying to say of these purple sheep, it's time to go. So let's just absolutely try to say like this, my little sheep as well. And this is going to be for a little bit of reference or basis one. And like this thing as well, we're gonna be doing such a big one. So this is going to be whatsoever, and we probably gonna be trying to say, and we're moving for a last one, and it's going to be you can do it whatever you want as well, as you'll be trying to say, as we're gonna be still going to be impact as well, and then say this is LCPD. And the worst thing, this isn't going to be a little bit perfect, but it's absolutely did so as well. And finally, it's time to save the image, as we're going to be completely download and already save these images, as we're going to be trying to see around for the entire downloads, and we're going to be seeing into this entire downloads. Well, it's already downloaded this video instead of those songs that I didn't absolutely get to be no matters to do with it anyways. So there you have it for these things, folks, like this. This has started to get a little bit easy, but making comic books like themselves is pretty easy like that. I'm just making for another loading screen for some sort of, instead of a timeline like these things, it was absolutely for some sort of, for like these things. And as you can see, onto the bottom right onto the screen, onto that page, it absolutely says minecraft.comics.studio, and there must be other kinds like themselves, and we does not matter that we just already saved the image, and before we're going to be combined in turns into one video that I'm just going to be making for this, for a large amount of Photoshop to do this, what I was just making. And the bad news is we try, unfortunately, we might going to be for setting ourselves for the retirement state, and this isn't going to be for the retirement statement as well. And I pretty got making things because I was very dumb as well, and I'm not gonna be talking this for anything whatever that I just actually wanted to do this. And make sure the website is linked in the description down below, as you just saved the file. And finally, that was absolutely going to be the end of this video, but looks like we cannot do for just another one and many more like these things until you upload a video, until I might going to delete those that I just made. And that is going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and click that bell. Thanks for watching, for all your support, and that should be for under 20 minutes and about for just only one thing. Of course, that was probably something fun is never going to be meant around here for just somewhere. And I'll see you mini lads all later, and also cookie runners as well. We just spawned on the already that we just seen for this in a various moments ago as well. And this is going to be Turbo Concept is signing off, and I guess I just already put one guppy over here, and then I'll talk to you all later. And we just already said